My name is Percy Watley. I'm the Regional Executive Chef for Western Operations within Delaware North Parks and Resorts. I also am the Executive Chef at the Ahwahnee Hotel. My job entails certainly the culinary world and of our operations. So anything that has to do with food, the human resources side of hiring salaried sous chefs and chefs within our operations, and then mentorship. So mentorship is a big thing, big part of my responsibility, where we continue to try to professionally develop ourselves and continue to challenge ourselves and do what we do better. My career path has led me on a wonderful journey in Yosemite, and it really does. It is almost completely focused in Yosemite. I've done a couple of degrees. I do have a business degree from the College of the Redwoods in Eureka, but I use Yosemite as the summer employment opportunity. And so I started at the Curry Village hamburger stand. The physicalness of staying organized in a fast-paced, fast food environment, I just fell in love with it. Prior to that, I did many jobs, landscaping, working around farms, being a farmhand, and other odd jobs at my hometown in New Mexico. But when I arrived in Yosemite in 1989, that was my first food and beverage job. So I did a lot of kind of those odd jobs that kind of built my backbone to a degree of just staying organized and working hard and physically knowing that I could do things like this. And then went to the Culinary Institute of America in 1996 and then almost immediately came back to Yosemite. So it has been completely Yosemite focused, my life. But my mentor, our corporate chef, Roland Hennen, started here in Yosemite as the corporate chef in 1998. And that's really when I started to really develop the skills of fine dining and the technical skills that I need to be the head chef at the Ahwahnee. Without him, I would still kind of be rolling around on a mouse wheel and not really having any direction. He's provided the guidance and the direction that I needed to continue to develop my skills. Sure. There's currently 16 or so salaried chefs within the Western Parks operations. And then within those kitchens, there's, if you total everybody within those kitchens, about 300 cooks. So it's a big brigade that needs to be not managed, but certainly supported. That's my role, is to support and provide information to the chefs, and they can trickle down that information into the kitchen brigade. And hopefully, that information is really embraced, and policies are made, and practices are adopted and used within those operations. Within Yosemite, there's 4 major outlets, major lodging facilities that have food service operations. Then we have our High Sierra camps and the Tuolumne Meadows and White Wolf Lodges as well. And those are seasonal operations that operate in the summer. And then beyond Yosemite, there is Tenaya Lodge at Yosemite, an owned and operated Delaware North property. And then we have Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks, and also Kalaloch Lodge, which is on the Olympic Peninsula. So that encapsulates the West Coast operations. Delaware North Parks and Resorts is much deeper than that, but those are the West Coast operations. We touch more than half of the visitors that come into Yosemite in one way or another, and in our food service facilities. So providing a good experience, a quality experience, and a memorable experience, whether it's eating pancakes at the food court at Yosemite Lodge or having a 4-diamond meal in our dining room here at the Ahwahnee, it still needs to be consistent in exactly what they're expecting in those facilities. Otherwise, it's not a good experience, and they won't be back to. They may visit Yosemite, but they may stay away from that experience, and we don't want that. It really is about relaxing and letting the food kind of speak to you as you're writing menus. If you do seasonal menus, and you follow the seasons with the ingredients, then you know that the ingredients coming in the door are as good quality as they are. And instead of trying to do asparagus in the middle of winter when you know that it's coming from Peru or Chile and it's coming 3,000 miles away, we don't. We stay away from those products just because we know that the quality is not there. And then we treat those ingredients simply. You know, no avant-garde techniques here. It's just all very natural food, very organic, not just in the philosophical way, but a lot of times it's organically grown. And you know, if you follow those processes organically, then good food ends up on the plate. And that's really the methodology behind our food. Talent really comes from within, so it really needs to. Sometimes it's not as transparent as you would think, and sometimes that talent is also learned and developed from experience. So when I'm looking through resumes, it really is kind of what their pedigree is on their resume, where they've been cooking, what if there was a formal education involved, what they've been doing with that education, and then, you know, the experience and the backbone that's created from that experience is where that talent really comes from. Sometimes it's inherent. Sometimes you get somebody that's very raw and green in the culinary world, but they have the desire to be talented, and so there's different stages of that talent that you really have to kind of sort through and sift through. And then once you find it, you really do your best to grab onto that person and really help them develop. Their prospective employee, certainly well-dressed, professional demeanor is the first impressions that you get from somebody. And then you know, a resume is just a piece of paper. And then as you make contact from a personal standpoint, whether it's a phone call or an in-person interview, that's when the resume kind of comes to life, and then you can really ask questions about the resume. So as you evaluate those first impressions of how they're dressed, what their body language is, are they overly confident? Are they scared? Are they, you know, super nervous about this interview? All of those things really bring that candidate to life. And then what we do, our policy in Delaware North, overall, the culinary brigade is all salaried chefs need to go through a cooking practical, so they can show the kitchen proctor, whether it's me or another regional chef within the company is proctoring this practical, then we can really see whether or not they have a backbone in cooking. But how do they go about writing their menu and organizing themselves in the kitchen? We also provide them with an assistant that is usually one of our kind of newer cooks, and that newer cook, it's how they manage that newer cook and how they delegate the responsibilities and how much they use that person to help them stay organized and clean and getting things done. So it really is a very, very important aspect of how we hire our chefs. Well, the food world and the industry in general for food and beverage is so broad. So first off, kind of find what you need to do, or what you want to do, whether it's food photography, whether it's food writing, whether it's cooking, baking and pastry, R&D. There's a lot of that going on too. But the number one thing you need to develop, whatever you do, is the fundamentals of what you're going to do, whether it's baking and pastry or cooking. You really do need the fundamentals, and the best way to do that is find a mentor or a chef that you can work under for a couple of years, and then move on to another chef for a couple of years, and really broaden your experience. But it really does boil down to knowing the fundamentals through and through, knowing the rights and the wrongs of the cooking and baking and pastry world. The coolest thing about my job is working and living in Yosemite. The Yosemite National Park is really a wonder of the world in my mind, and the seasonality of living and working in the mountains, and then of course what we do at the Ahwahnee, the events that we do is just incredible, and being able to touch so many lives at the Ahwahnee and provide good experiences for them to take home with them and hopefully come back. And those are the coolest things. With a brigade the size that we have in Parks and Resorts, Delaware North Parks and Resorts, there's lots of opportunity for advancement. As long as that backbone is developed at a unit. We have promoted recently 3 Awani cooks into sous chef roles. And then many other Awani, the executive chef roles within Parks and Resorts on the West Coast are products of the Awani kitchen. And there's lots of opportunity for growth as long as you have it here, and you're showing that you have the dedication and commitment to continue to grow and professionally develop yourself. There is endless opportunity within DNC. Why would someone choose a career in the restaurant industry? That's a really hard question to really pinpoint the correct answer, because you really do need to do it for a while before you fall in love with it. And once you do fall in love with it, you really need to embrace that passion. It's not an easy industry to be in. It's not an 8-hour day. It's not, you're lucky if it's a 10-hour day. So embracing the physicalness of it, the feeling of a great day, the feeling of a bad day, the feeling of you don't want to wake up in the morning and do it again. Those are all going to be part of your life if you choose this industry. So, but you always need to have some sort of positive attitude with it, because if you don't take the positives from it and learn from mistakes and learn that not every day is going to be a great day, and really try to focus on constant improvement and evolving. This industry is constantly evolving, so it's a challenge. Why would someone choose this industry? It's really for the passion of it, and it really is a passionate industry.